Hello everyone, this is Eric with CrewReady. Today we'll be looking at how to set up your barcode scanner. Now, quick piece of awareness or PSA, every barcode scanner comes from a different company and the process is slightly different. So I'll be covering two different barcode scanners that I have here with me and how to set them up to work with CrewReady. This process may be slightly different for whatever barcode scanner you have. We'll be going and looking at the manual of a NetumScan scanner and an Eyoyo scanner and seeing how those two different scanners work. Most modern scanners should work in a similar way. If you have any difficulty with your specific scanner, reach out to me at support@crewready.ca and we'll try and help you set yours up. To start, I'm going to quickly and very briefly go over how a barcode scanner functions, only to the level you need to understand for how to set this up. Now, a barcode scanner functions as an external keyboard, and that's how CrewReady receives it. So if I scan, as an example, a barcode for some Tylenol, really quick here, you can see that this barcode scanner that's set up to work within CrewReady has three @ symbols in front of it. And that's because if I type really, really fast, there's no way to know the difference between me typing and the barcode scanner. So we have to set up our barcode scanner to add a couple of letters or characters unique to the scanner in front of it so that CrewReady can say, hey, wait a minute, that person just typed three @ symbols. This is a barcode scanner, not a person. Now, what characters every barcode scanner can do is unique to the scanner. So there's a setting here in CrewReady under the Settings Organization tab called Barcode Scanner Prefix. Now, as you can see for my system, that's set up as @@@. So if I use that scanner we have set up, it will recognize this Tylenol that I scanned. Now, if I set that scanner prefix to something else, for example, @X and hashtag, and I save, we'll now see that if I use that same barcode scanner to scan my Tylenol, it won't understand the scan. And in fact, if I'm in a text field, it will scan that directly into the text field, which is not what we want. So it's important to make sure that whatever prefix you set up for your barcode scanner matches what is set up in your settings. Now, let's look at how we can set up that prefix for our barcode scanner. I recommend having TextEdit, Notepad, some kind of text editing software open so that you can verify if your barcode scanner is working. For example, a separate barcode scanner I have here, if I scan the same Tylenol barcode, we see that it is actually giving me an F in front of the barcode instead of an @@@. So someone had this set up at some point in time to put an F in front of the barcode. So we're going to cut to a camera view here of the manuals I have for these barcode scanners. All right, so here I've got my first barcode scanner and its manual. I'm going to be using this barcode scanner here. This is the one that was scanning in an F before. So now what we're going to do is we're going to open this up, and if you're fortunate enough to have a table of contents, this one does. My other manual does not, which we'll be looking at in a second here. This one has a table of contents, so we want to find the prefix and suffix section, and we can skip right to there. If you don't have a table of contents, then you'll probably find the section somewhere towards the back of the book. One hint is to look for a bunch of codes with characters underneath them. So A, B, C, D, hashtags, numbers, and so on. That is going to be your prefix and suffix section. And flip until you find an area with titles such as prefix and suffix on them. There, it should have a step-by-step process for adding and clearing any prefixes or suffixes. To use CrewReady, what we need is for your barcode scanner to start scanning with a specific prefix that we looked at earlier in settings that you can control, and then it needs to end by hitting enter on your keyboard. Almost every barcode scanner will by default hit enter after scanning a barcode, so you shouldn't have to change the suffix. The prefix is what we're going to look at changing today, and your prefix can vary a little bit from barcode scanner to barcode scanner on how it changes, which is why we're going to look at two different ones here. So in my manual, I've got step A is to scan the add prefix or add suffix code. So that's what I'm going to scan here is add prefix. Then step B is to scan modify prefix or modify suffix. I've tested this several times. Nothing happens if I only scan one of add or modify, but it works if I scan both. I'm not sure why you have to scan two different codes, but just do what it tells you. My step C is to then flip to the characters pages, which I mentioned earlier, and find the characters I want and scan them in the order I want them to be represented. Here, I'm going to be setting my new suffixes to do my new prefixes, to do hashtag, because this scanner doesn't have any @ symbols, so I need to choose a new prefix. So I'm going to scan the hashtag twice, and then I'm going to flip back to my instructions and make sure there's no other steps. Usually, there will be a save and exit step, which I have here. So I will scan my save and exit, and now I just need to test it and make sure it worked. So I've got myself here a CrewReady barcode for some D50, or if you have some product like this Tylenol that you can scan, or piece of an old box like this glove box with a barcode on it, just something that you can scan into a notepad editor, such as here I have Notepad to scan. So I am now going to scan my D50 to test, and here I can see I got two hashtags in front of my barcode, and just to be really thorough, I can test the gloves, I can test the Tylenol, and all of these should have two hashtags in front of them, and then hit enter. As you can see here, it's on every single one's on a new line. That's done by the barcode, not by me. So now I know that this barcode scanner is set up to do hashtag. Now let's look at our other scanner here. If we cut back to me, this scanner is a Bluetooth scanner. Very handy if you have a larger storeroom and the computer is not in an area where it can reach everything. This one has a bit of a different manual though. Unfortunately, I have no table of contents. It just jumps straight into the information. So I'm just going to flip to not all the way to the back, but kind of in the back. I'm going to start back here. And I actually got lucky and I flipped straight to the area that has the add prefix code. Now these ones are a little bit more of a barcode and not a QR code, but that's okay. I'm just going to double check what I have on my first page here, and it looks like I got some instructions. So for this one, to do a custom prefix and suffix, it talks a little bit more technically. It can do maximum 20 characters. We want to try and keep that to a minimum, something that your staff won't accidentally type really quickly. If they type it slowly, it won't. The CrewReady will know it's not a barcode. Typically, people aren't typing hashtag very fast, so that's a good short option. So here it says this first step is to scan, add prefix or suffix. And then the next step is to scan the values you want from the chart that they have. So this one's a little bit more complicated. Here we go. So we got a chart to do. And what this is going to say is it's got the character, so a whole list of characters. And then it's got the hex code. And it's actually hex code first. So these are the hex codes for these characters. And so what we have to do is each hex code is 2 characters long and then followed by an H. And you can ignore the H in a hex code. So for example, if I want a hashtag, that's code 23 or 23. So to get to 3, I need to scan barcode number 2, which is actually down here, followed by barcode number 3 over here. A little bit hard to see. So this one's a little bit more complicated. There's more character options, but you have to look up the characters in a table. So then once I've scanned that, I repeat that step of scanning those codes for every single character I want. And then step 4 is scan the output format. Step 5 is a little bit unclear that it's actually optional in this one, but scan 5 is to select the output format. If you don't select the output format, at least for this brand, it will just apply it to all output formats. Output format is like the type of barcode, basically. So if that's an option, try just not doing that step, and it might apply it to all barcodes. You'll have to test it. So let's run through this one ourselves and see what happens. So I'm going to start by step 1, scanning add prefix. Then going back to our lookup table, we know we want hashtag, which is 23 for a hashtag. So I'm going to scan 2 followed by 3, and then 2 again followed by 3. And that should give me hashtag, 2 hashtags. Now, the last step, as I mentioned, for this brand is actually optional, which is not obvious in the way they wrote this manual. So we're going to put this aside, now we're going to pull up our text editor, and we're going to test it with some barcodes. So we're going to scan our D50 code from CrewReady, which comes up properly. We're going to scan our Tylenol, which comes up as that expiry date code. And then we're also going to scan just a regular barcode, which is much shorter, for our gloves. All of these are working. We got our 2 hashtags in front. Change our barcode scanner prefix to hashtag, save that change, and we can test it to be absolutely sure by scanning this D50. It detects this D50, knows what Tylenol is, and it recognizes our gloves. Perfect. They're all working. We can even test the other barcode really quick, and we can see that both scanners work just fine. That's how you set up a barcode scanner in CrewReady. With that, that was a bit of a longer video, so thank you for bearing with me. Hopefully that helps a little bit. Unfortunately, barcode scanners vary a lot from scanner to scanner, from company to company, and the best advice I can really give is to read the manual for the barcode scanner. Setting them up can be a little bit technical at times, and if you need help, I'm always available to assist. Just email me, support@crewready.ca. Have a lovely day. Thank you.